Hello, welcome back to my channel, guys. This is Shubhranshu Panda. Hope you are doing well. This is a second session of what we are doing from last 3 weeks. This is a Salesforce challenge for every developer, and today's session is all about what is the JavaScript Fetch API. So might you have heard about it, but in daily to daily life or in daily to daily work session, we are in a trouble in where we don't write to need any Apex code, but we have to fetch some data from the external site. So what we have to do and how can we do that? So we'll talk about in today's session. And before going to that, I'll show demo for what we have going to develop in today's session. So let me just give you the today's demo. So what we are doing, what we are going to do in today's session, we are going to develop one postal code finder. Basically, I am using here the postal code API, which is a free of cost. There is no any extra charges for it. You have to just call the external site from your web component or the from the HTML page in a JavaScript JavaScript script, and you will get the response for it. So what we are going to develop, we are going to develop one model box and one search input where we have to need to only search the pin code, and depend on that pin code we'll get all of this postal code location for it. So I'll just show you the quickly. So let's say I'll give my pin code and it will search all of these markers, whatever the pin code areas are there. It will show you in a map, and it will show you the city and state countries, like it's showing in a map location. So today's we'll going to cover this LWC component, but before going to that, we'll first understand what is the JavaScript Fetch API. Okay, so JavaScript Fetch API, you can go to the official JavaScript website, and you can search for the whatever the contents over here written here is. But for overall view, I'll give you the quick what is the JavaScript Fetch API. The Fetch API is a modern interface that allow you to make HTTP request to server from web browser. So you don't write to need anything to call a controller or some Apex or some backend language. You have to just need a call to from Fetch API. It will call as a asynchronous, and it will give you the fetch method. It will give you as a promises method. So fetch method is available in the global scope that instruct the web browser to send a request to a URL. So what is written here? So global scope means whenever the JavaScript is written in the backend, the fetch API is declared as a global variable. So variable means it is a method declared in the global scope for the JavaScript. So you can directly use the fetch API and you can get the response for it. And it will give you always the promises. So promises is like a asynchronous way to call in a JavaScript. Remember, JavaScript is a synchronous way, but we can do the asynchronous way as well in a JavaScript. So it will give you the promises, and you can capture the success response in a then block, and you will get the error if you have, then in a catch block you can handle it. So what is the syntax for fetch URL? So it is a simple syntax. You have to just declare the URL inside the fetch method, and you will get the response for it. In the response you will get the OK response.ok variable. It means if it is a true, then it will be a success, and if it is false, then it will not. And you will get additionally status like 200, 300, like whatever the code, you will get the code. If it is a 200 or 201, then it will be a success response. Otherwise you will get the error. What if you have any course error or something about the URL, or if you have any unprivileged access for that API. So you can handle it in a catch block as well. So let's do some hands-on for to get the understand better, right? So I have created one HTML where it is. Okay, So it is a simple HTML file. I don't remember like how we develop is here, but just remember if I have just developed one demo fetch.html file, and in this I have just declared the my API and with the postal code. Okay, and in a then block, remember the syntax in then and catch. You have to get the response in a then block, and whatever the error you can handle it in a catch block. So when you call the fetch method, it will get the response, and if it is a success, then you can handle it in a decline manner. So first, let's run this page, and you will get the whatever the response. Will check this response over it. So I'll get the refresh it. So see, in a response, you will get all over the body use. See, I am telling about this. Okay, true means it is a success response, and you will get the status code as well. Once you get this response, you can get the data using the you can convert that data, you can convert that response into the JSON, and you can handle it over it. So I'll just remove it this comment, so you'll get the idea how can we get this data. So after that you will get the response. You can get this data using the return response JSON. So it will return the response as a JSON format, and you can directly handle then block using whatever you have to do in a deep manner. Okay, so I just save it and now refresh it. See, once you get the response as a success method in a true and 200, so I'll get the response. Number of pin codes are 2, and whatever the pin code and state countries in the data, you can get this here only. Okay, so this is all over about like what is fetch API, and we can do hands-on with like in LWC component soon. Just give me a 1 minute. Okay, so here we are back. So what we have to develop, like we are going to use the fetch API in LWC component, and will exactly what we have seen in the initial of this video will get the same LWC component at the end of this video. Okay, so here I am using the one playground org. You can also do in a like in your developer org as well, or you can do hands-on with your playground org. So for playground org, you can log in into the trailhead account, and you have to go to this user profile, like, and you have to just click on hands-on org. So you can create from the any playground org. I'm already reached of text like 10 minimum trailhead playground org, so I'm using the existing one. So here my the playground org, and I am already connected with my VS Code. So you can also connect with any VS Code, or you can do in whatever the code editor you want. So let's create one LWC component. Okay, so once it is authorized, you can create LWC component. Okay, so let's name it as a postal code component. Okay, so it will create one LWC component. Let's just create it. For time consuming, I'll copy over it from the developer org, so you'll get the quick idea about what we are doing. But don't worry, I'll give you all of this what we are doing. I'll explain you one by one. So first I'll copy the HTML file and just paste it over here, and same for the JavaScript file. Let me copy the JavaScript as well. So the magic here is like we don't need to write any Apex code. See, I am not importing any of the Apex code over here, so it is a magic of fetch API. So you have to don't write to any test class over it also. So just give me a moment, I'll just copy paste it. So at the end of the video I'll give my code as well from like GitHub link, so you can get this code as well from the GitHub. So don't worry about the code, just be in the video. I'll give you one by one step what we are doing here. So just a moment. And yeah, if you have any doubts, like we have already discussed in last session, so you can ping me out and we'll create one video for it. If you have any doubts, any clarification for the Salesforce or any JavaScript knowledge or anything about it, so you can ping me on it on a video, or you can give me a like on LinkedIn as well. I'll give you the LinkedIn link on my video in the description box. Okay, so just last XML also I'll copy it. Give me a moment. Okay, so I copied it, and let's understand one by one. First, we are declared one lightning card. And we have declared as a title postal code finder. Then we have declared one div variable. In the layout section, you will get all of this styling in the SLDS website. So you can go to the SLDS and you will get all of this, how we can develop anything grid or layout section. So you can go to any lightning design system website and you will get all of this style section. How can we do this in a lightning web component? Okay, now get back to our component. So once it is a search postal code, and if it is one search by using the brand button we have declared, once we have click on that brand button, it will go to the JavaScript file and it will get the get map location. So first it will go to the get map location. Before that, when you enter any API postal code, so on a change we are handling this postal code in a handle post code, this handle post code event. Whenever the event detail value is changed, then it will store in the postal code. And once you click on the get map location button, here it is in a HTML file, get map location, then it will go to the this method and it will call the same fetch API method. What we are doing here is, like we have declared the address found track variable. This address found is default is a false. It is a private variable. You can call it is a private, but it is a reactive manner. So whenever the value changes, it will change the UI as well. So whenever the address found is true, then it will load the lightning map. Default it is a false, then it will not show the any of the map. Okay, so in a JavaScript, default is a false, and we are declare one map markers. So this is required to get the data and store it in a list variable. So we have declared is a map markers, which is a list, and this is a zoom label and list view. These are the two additional parameter for this lightning map found component, which is a standard component of LWC. Okay, and then we are doing the fetch API. So we are called as the same API, and the postal code, whatever the postal code is user search, we are handling in the handle postal code, and whatever the value here written is, then it will get the data. Additionally, you can declare it as a method. What kind of it is a method? If it is a post, get, or put and delete, whatever the method, you can declare as a method as well. So default is a get, it will consider as a get method. So here it is optional if you are in the get fetch API, but yeah, it is a best practices to write the method as well. So whenever this fetch API is a success, similar to what we have doing in a demo HTML file, was same we are doing in this component as well. If it is a response is okay, then we are returning as a response as a JSON. We are returning as a response JSON. So it will convert all of your response data into the JSON format, and it will handle in a then block. Okay, so in a then block, it is a similar code to what we have written in the demo HTML file here, in the line of like till 35. After that, remember how the output is shown in the HTML file. So it is in a list format. So remember it is returning as a list. So what we are handling in the JavaScript, we'll get the post office. So I'll just show you in a JSON format, so I'll get the idea. JSON formatter. Let open any website and just beautify it. So I'll just, yeah. So see, the post office one list inside the body of main body. So inside of postal office we'll get all of this data. So that's why we are handling the data of first element. It is an array of element. We are handling the post office and we get the post office data into the array variable of let array data. Okay, and then we are iterating over the array data. So array data as well, here it is, you can see it is a array. Okay, so we can iterate over it and we can modify it. So how the response is written, so I'll show you how to handle the lightning map first. Let me just open the LWC map, which is a standard component, so you have to declare it in that way only. So just I'm opening the documentation, so you'll get the idea how we get to set the data from the API. Yeah, let me just open it. See, you have to set the city, country, title and description. In a location you have to declare street, city, country, and it is a list as well, and you can declare as a title, description. So if it is multiple values, then you have to handle it in a like a list, and you have to declare in a different section. In the location you have to declare all of the city, country, state, postal code. Then if you have any icon, then you have to declare as a icon one attribute, then title, then description. So similar way what we are doing, let me just open it. Yeah. In a JavaScript we have declared one LOC, location for variable, and in that it is a same location variable. For that we have declared one variable, and in that we have declared the city, country, postal code, state and street. So we have declared all of the attribute, and in a result, which is a main body for this, is it the main object. In that you have a title and description and other value parameters. So in a location we have initiated the LOC, then title we have blanket, description blank, and icon we have declared as a standard location, which is a SLTS icon. You can go to the SLTS website and you can get all of these icons parameter. So after that declaring of the LOC and result, you have to declare one of the attribute in a iterating format. So city we have to get the element division. So you will get this city you can get this data from the what we are doing is division. Yeah, we are getting the city as a from the division. Then element dot pin code, so you will get the pin code from this. Then state like same and respective manner. So once LOC is done, then you have to declare the RAC, which is a main object for our lightning map marker. Then you have to declare for the location, we have to declare LOC, which is already constructed here. Then title you have to declare as a name. The element name is simple, the Chembur RS or the name Tilak Nagar Mumbai. Then description you can get any of these. I am just returning at element dot name area. Then we have declared as a console log. Then map markers, and we are just pushing all of these map markers, whatever the element we are getting in this array data, we are just pushing into the map markers, which is declared in at the above, which is we are finding in the we are declaring it as a in a global track variable. Okay, yeah, here it is. Once it is done, then we have to declare as a zoom level. You can declare it from, I guess it is from 21 to 22. I guess you can declare zoom level. I don't remember, but you can, if you have remember, then please ping me out in a video. Then you can declare as a list view visible. All of this attribute you can get from the LWC documentation. Address found is equal to true. Address found is nothing but whenever this data is true, then only it will show the lightning map marker. That's why we are at the end we are set the true variable, true attribute for this address found. And if you have any error, then it will handle in a catch block. So this is all we are doing in a in a JavaScript, and here it is only nothing to write in Apex code, and we have to just is expose equal to true so that it can be show up in a home page, record page, or anything over it. So the our component is done. Just deploy it from this local to our source org so that we can drag and drop over the home page. So just I'm deploying it. Yeah, it's deployed. Now go to the Salesforce, and we have to do 2 to 3 steps for the fetch API in a Salesforce org. Let me just give you one in 1 minute. Just give me a minute. So here I am back in my playground org, and you have to do the 2 to 3 steps. Like you have to add in the remote site setting as well the API URL, whatever the URL you are getting in a fetch API, and you have to additionally add into the CSP trust sites. So what CSP trust site is additionally steps for to know to the Salesforce that it is a trust site to call the any external API from our Salesforce org. So it is a 2 steps, additional steps what we have to do in a Salesforce. So just add into the remote site setting first. So go to the remote site setting, then let me just open it. Give me a moment. Okay, so here it is a remote site, so you have to additionally add one remote site as well for our postal code API. So you can give any name, postal code API, then you have to give the API URL. You don't remember to additionally whatever the parameter, you have to just add the domain. So just me add, it will give only the domain name only. So yeah, it is added. Then you have to go to the CSP trust site, and same you have to add the same URL. So let me just declare it, postal code API, then URL, and you have to add the all of these parameters so that it will not show any error when you call the LWC component any error. What is the error here? Let me just remove it. Give me a moment. Let me save it now. So you don't have to give the additionally slash as well. You have to just give the domain name in a CSP trust site. So that's why we are getting the error. Okay, now it is saved. Now we have to just drag and drop our LWC component. Let's just drag and drop in edit page. Yeah, it's loading. Okay, now we have to just declare it, drag and drop our component. So our component name is postal something. What is postal code component? Okay, now it's searching in, yeah, it is searched. Now just drag and drop into the postal code component. Okay, now save it and activate for our desktop and our mobile org, and you have to give additionally it is already there, so you don't have to, you have to give the access for org default as well. If it is not there, then save it, then go back to our home page, and let's test this using our fetch API. Okay, now I've already start my console, so you will get all of this response and you will get the idea about it. So let just load it. Now it's load. So I'll give same API code. Now let's find out. So it is handling in a handle change postal codes. This is why it is showing every console over here. Now search. See, we'll get the response over it, and you will get same response, and you will get the location finder. Let me just give the additionally. Yeah, you can see here it is, the locations are there, and the finder, it is where it is. Yeah, here it is. So Chembur and Tilaknagar location is here. Now just I'll give another pin code over it, and let's test it. So here we get these 27 postal code areas in a Panvel location. So we'll get all of this location using the fetch API, and you can see the response in the console. See, all of this response is captured, and you will get the response from the then block. It all written in the fetch API. So this is all about the magic of fetch API, what we have discussed today. And remember, you have to do the additional two step for to call from the Salesforce org. So you have to add it into the remote site detail, and you have to additionally add into the CSP trust site, and you have to give all of these permissions so that it can call as a successful manner. I have like created without the CSP trust site, so that time it will give the error like for the trust site issues from the Salesforce or to call any external site using the fetch API. So you have to do these steps as well. Okay. So additionally, you can go to this JavaScript website, and you can get all of these parameters. You can declare as a post method as well. You can get the response over it. You can declare any header for it. You can give the JSON body, and you can get the response using the async await operations. All over the written here it is in a beautiful manner. So you can whenever you get the idea about the fetch API, you can get this data from it. And don't worry about the code. I'll upload into the GitHub in my GitHub link account, and give you the link in my description box, so you can get this LWC component as well. And if you like this video, please like it, my video, and share with your buddies, and please don't forget about this subscribe my channel to get this such more informative videos in the future. And yeah, thank you so much for your time, and please keep safe and keep healthy.